Yo, what's going on, guys? Koi here. Now, today, I'm gonna pretty much be doing my last video on Anime Switch until we get some information later on. I just want to take this video to explain the situation and everything like that, and really just talk about why there hasn't been any content drops, why they're taking so long, and the situation that's happened before then. Because I've kept up with almost everything so far. For instance, I've kept up with the original development after they bought the game and everything like that, and I can't say that I'm very surprised with what's going on in the background. And even after, they kind of opened the curtain to me and they said, "Oh, look here, look back here. This is what's going on. You guys shouldn't be so critical." And at the same time, a lot of you guys understand I'm very real. So when someone tells me they're going to do something and they don't do it, then that's when, you got to get a little uppity about some things, especially explaining the situation. And I wanted to get MYRO on. I asked him if he wanted to get on and actually just talk about this on a video to really discuss what are the next steps for the game and everything like that. And he specifically said that there's just too much going on in the background and there's too much it's just too much to deal with right now that they don't even want to let me know anymore because of the failures that have happened in the past already since they got the game. And with that being the case, right? With all these failures in a row, I'll just explain each one. So the first one had to do with the failure of the first dev that was apparently a guy that already had a history of messing up before. Then after that, they had another guy who was supposed to be the replacement, did a little bit of replacement work. Then after that, still failed to push the envelope and actually do his job correctly, ended up getting fired, which was the second dev. Then after that, now we have this new dev that was supposed to get the job done as soon as possible. And they talked a big game and everything like that. We got to hear them out and talk to them in the VC and everything. And, that didn't end well either. Because not just the day after MYRO said we were going to get the update that we've been asking for, which is the Soul Society characters, they ended up still saying, "Oh, well, we couldn't come down to an agreement on such and such pay, I guess." And that was just a major slap to the face to me and the community who have been waiting for said update. And it's like this time it wasn't even like MYRO's fault. It was literally just like the owner of the game. But keep in mind, right? This studio has a tendency of clipping pretty much any older development studio's wings just to make sure that they make the quickest buck, and if it doesn't pan out, then it's over. And that's just kind of like where we're heading. I think we're heading in that direction where the owner of the game or the owner of the studio is just going to get tired of us complaining and complaining, or just doesn't even care at all, because then it would have already been prevalent at the fact that they would have came up with something. They would have came up with some type of update. They would have pushed some different developers our direction. Kangen, another game that they've been working on in full force, is just been getting every single update that they wanted, with everyone from that studio on top of that just making their own guilds and all that stuff and messing around with Kangen. You know what I mean? They pretty much they've been building a fighting community that is more into the fighting games and the genre of training than they have with this game at all. They haven't even touched it. Realistically speaking, the only people who have touched it are I don't even know if MYRO's even played this game yet, honestly. But besides that, I think that now we're in a position where the game is cooked in the highest degrees, and it's pretty much burnt at this point. And the fact that the community has been so headstrong is insane to me. I would have guessed that this community would have burnt the studio to the ground for just an update. But no, they actually just have been holding back on all their criticisms where it counts. For instance, they have not ratioed the game. If they ratioed the game, the developers probably would have just got fired by now. Because that's just the way it is. The second that ratio drops, that's when things get bad. and that's when the developers get fired and stuff like that. But right now, it's like they don't want this game to die. I don't think anyone does. I don't think there's a single case where I've seen anyone really wanting this game to die. It's more along the lines of they're watching it die. And it's just very sad because now they just won't even let someone like me really just like look into the game or like freaking, see what's going on. It's more of like just like silence. And I'm guessing because they can't get a single developer, they can't get anybody to work on the game, and it's just going to be in silence for the next probably month or so due to the fact that there's so many other games coming out. They might as well just drop this game at this point. Either they're going to find someone to buy this game and they're going to sell it to them for a ridiculous price, or they're just going to just let the game die. Because it's clear that there's so much anime stuff going on the end of this year, to the point where there's not really any reason for them to keep up and keep going. There really isn't. The fact that there's like we got we literally have Tenkaichi Budokai 4 coming out, which is the Sparking Zero. We have all these One Piece updates. It's just, and so many games like Divas of Creation, RLCs, and everything like that coming out this year. There's no room for a game to be messing up this hard. And if the studio doesn't care enough, then that's the studio's fault. I don't think MYRO has the pulling power that we thought he did, due to the fact that he doesn't he's just been relying on developers after developer after developer and just kind of like giving us these promises of an update, and then after that gets upset the second we start saying our grievances about it and saying, hey, what happened? And, with that being the case, I hate to be hard on the guy, but honestly, there has been no reputable change. The reputation of this game has been destroyed. The fact that like MYRO's reputation's also been destroyed in this case as well is ridiculous to me. Like absolute like character slander and everything, man. It's insane to me. But that's just, it is what it is. Hopefully this game does come back, but as of this moment, I'm done. I have to walk away, and I can't just keep keeping up and saying, hey, we're going to have a good update. This isn't how I roll. I don't lie to people. And if I lied to people, then I wouldn't have like my channel. I wouldn't have a good reputation or anything like that.